Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Secrets to Success. I think this might be the last one that we have scheduled for um, this semester. So we are excited that you are joining us. My name is Kim Sandlin. I am the Director of Student Success here. Have been around the university a long time, first generation, shocker. So I was here as an undergraduate student and have the privilege of working here as a professional and helping students along the way be successful. So we have a guest with us today. I'm going to let Kai Sien introduce herself.
Yes. Hi, my name is Kai Sien Lee. I'm a graduate student majoring in clinical mental health counseling. I am currently a practicum student in Office of Student Success, and then I'm helping students with test anxiety, stress management, and things like that.
Awesome. And we're very excited to have Kaisen here with us this semester. She's been doing some really great work with our students. So we've got a PowerPoint that we want to bring up and walk through with you all today. Test anxiety and holiday stress techniques. This is because it's a different schedule for the semester. I think a lot of students are potentially experiencing a little bit higher stress a little bit earlier than we would normally see it because this I think a lot of instructors have kind of front loaded their classes a little bit, right? So there's a lots of things happening with this being the week before Thanksgiving. That maybe you all are handling and dealing with and trying to manage. Normally, where you'd have the traditional finals week in December. And I know a lot of you are still going to be meeting in December, and maybe you're going to have your finals in December, and that's perfectly fine. But we see an increase about this time of year. In addition to the finals week piece being a little bit early, the holidays are coming up, and that is stressful on at any norm on during any normal semester, right? Especially those of you who may not be at home, may be living on campus, going to be returning home, going to be returning home for that break. So the 21st of November through the end of January, perhaps. That may look a little different, might feel a little different. There might be a little bit of anxiety for you as you return home. You've been kind of on your own, living on your own for a little bit. And what does that look like when you get back to your family? And we're going to talk through that a little bit today. A lot of you have indicated to us that you are dealing with financial stress, and that is one of our major indicators of whether or not students persist and stay with us and keep the momentum going toward graduation. But we also know that we're in a pandemic and finances are a little bit different. So the reality there, right? So I think as we go on through our presentation, you'll see this. So we want to begin by talking about some of the things that stress you out or that may be stressing us out. So if we'll put up the next slide here. Um, we'll go ahead and advance. We want to talk about what is stressing you out. So we're going to wait on our friend M, who's helping us with the technical part. Maybe this is causing stress. I don't know. It's very possible. Um, but we'll want to talk about, let's see, four different things right now that are on your mind. First of all, I've got a message from M. Hang on, we will get there. But first and foremost, really, is the pandemic, right? We're in the middle of this. We've never really experienced it before. Although we know more now, perfect. Although we know, yeah, go ahead and show them all. Perfect. There you go. Thank you, M. Although we know more now, we didn't know a lot in March, right? And we've learned a lot over the last few months, six or so, about how to um, manage our health, how to redesign our lives around this, and it's been kind of an interesting ride. Some of our students have really rebounded and been able to, make the shift to remote learning really quickly. Others not so much. A lot of our students have become ill. A lot of our students are quarantined and all of that. And it really changes and kind of flips everything right upside down. So while we know more about what to expect and how to keep ourselves safe, there is still a little bit of that uncertainty when it comes to health and how to manage your health, both during the holidays and managing stress when it comes to finals. So as I mentioned earlier, financial uncertainty. So we know a lot of students, I would say probably more than 90% of our students work at least 20 hours, which is at least a part-time job. A lot of our students work more than that. That might be a little high, probably about 80% work 20 hours or more. But a lot of our students are also in entry-level positions, maybe lower paying positions, and perhaps had some employment concerns, challenges that have happened. So if that's you, you're not alone. We've heard that from a lot of our students. And then the opposite is true too, right? So we've had a lot of students say, I'm an essential worker and my hours have increased and now I have to kind of sit back a little bit from school. So employment, financial, all goes hand in hand. And then the finals and the final projects, especially if you're a new student with us this first semester, you might not really know what to expect anyway from finals. But those finals projects, I think a lot of instruction has changed. And so we're moving maybe from high stakes exams to maybe some projects, maybe some group projects, things that maybe you haven't managed before, maybe you haven't worked through before with your peers in your classes. And that can all, again, just adds to it. Upcoming holidays, as I mentioned, right? Thanksgiving is coming up, a time where we, want to think about the things that, that mean a lot to us, the people that mean a lot to us, things that we're thankful for. But sometimes that comes with a little bit of stress when you add the family component to that. And if things have changed in your life, thinking through what that looks like for you. So lots of other things contribute. And the images on here, just talking through that, lots of fuzzy thoughts, right? Lots of things happening, some uncertainty, things starting to run together. I know for me this morning, I was talking with our staff and I was like, I don't know if I have even talked about this with you all before. Maybe I've mentioned it, maybe I haven't. And so things become less clear for us and our heads are kind of muddied up with things that are happening and things we should be doing and want to be doing, but maybe can't do and all of that. It also affects our body. So our heart rates are different. Our breathing is different. Maybe we don't feel so good before or after eating, or maybe we're not eating. And so it physically affects the body. The stress, and I think Kai Sien's going to take us through some things a little bit later to relax that a little bit, maybe take a little bit of that pressure off. And then the image over to the side, right? Your family might have expectations on you. You might be serving, or you might be contributing to the bills, paying the bills at your house. You may be contributing to the education of younger siblings. You may be the home educator for your own kids, right? So different expectations and family roles that you have to navigate and all manage kind of all at the same time. Again, it's kind of circular, right? It goes back to the kind of your head is fuzzy, your body reacts, family pressure or expectation. And so that all just kind of swirls around a little bit. And then that's when we see a lot of stress elevating. So I'm going to talk about, sorry, I almost threw it to you too early, Kai Sien, sorry. Common signs of stress. And you can look through these. We're not going to go through these, all of each one of them. I'm not going to talk about each of them too long. But these are very common among our college students. Physical symptoms kind of feel sick to your stomach. Big indicator of stress, right? And that could be before a presentation. You're nervous before that, and now get the butterflies in your stomach, right? Or before an exam. At this point, I'm hopeful that everyone has had a chance to experience what an online exam is like. Maybe some of you have, maybe some of you haven't yet, but want to, that feeling of, being sick to your stomach and kind of clammy, cold and sweaty, and that kind of thing. The pressure is definitely there, and can look a little different if you are doing school from home. If you've got folks constantly interrupting you and you got to manage that, we'll talk about that a little bit later. The third one, the one in the middle, is the one I really want to spend a little bit of time on. This happens to a lot of our students. We hear a lot that students are not happy with the grade that they got on an exam or a project. Typically, this comes with testing, so an exam or a quiz or something like that. They tell us, I knew the material, but I just blanked out. I don't know what happened, but I lost it. I know this material. This grade does not reflect the effort that I made in studying and preparing for, this. So that short-term memory loss is common, and it's common with test anxiety. And if you blank out, you think you know it, and then it kind of starts and you lose it all, and then your stress amps up because you can't remember it. It's not coming to you. Then you might do a little bit of, negative self-talk. Oh, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I do this? Or why didn't I do that? Or I can't believe I do not know this stuff. I know. Why can't I think about it? So all of these thoughts are rushing through your head. Again, really normal and pretty common among our college students. But then you get mad at yourself because after the exam, it all comes back. You remember it all, right? So 10 to 15 minutes, well, a lot of good it does 10 minutes after an exam, right? A lot of good it does to remember what you were supposed to put down on paper or type in the chat box or whatever, discussion group, 10 minutes after it's all over, right? So that is a common sign of test anxiety, stress, things like that. Loneliness, procrastination. Procrastination is not only a sign of stress, but it is just common among traditional aged college students for sure. But when it comes into anxiety and depression is when you tend to start avoiding people, avoiding the daily tasks, avoiding the things that you need to do. But you avoid it because you can't handle it. You shut yourself off from the rest because it's easier to just pretend that stuff isn't happening than it is to show up, to do it, to get it done, to give that presentation, to take that exam. It's just easier to just kind of withdraw, right? So lots of things on this slide to think about if this is common for you, or maybe you didn't really know what these things were linked to. It's possible. It's probably a little bit of stress. Could be, might not always be. Anxiety, test anxiety, especially when you're avoiding tasks and interacting with people, potentially getting a little depressed. Seasonal depression is coming. A lot of people, when they cannot get outside and enjoy that sunshine, enjoy that fresh air, have a little bit of seasonal depression. And so lots of interesting things to think about. And hopefully today we'll be able to give you some things that will help you with these strategies. So I'm going to send it over to Kai Sien, who's going to talk to us a little bit of give you some facts on student stress in the U.S. So Kai Sien, go ahead.
Yes, so here are some facts on stress. So stress can lead to a lot of things, anxiety, depression, and all these mental health issues. And also it will affect your physical health, like what Kim just mentioned. You manage your stress, and if you can find a balance between stress and good health. So college students experience a lot of stress events, and we have some numbers here on the stress college student has in the United States. And the information was collected in 2019, which was year. So it's pretty. So the first one is 20% of students report going through 6 or more stressful experiences in the past year, which is in 2019. And 87% of students have experienced stress during their college years. 45% of college students claim to go through more than average stress. So a little bit of stress is good, it motivates you, but when it exceeds that limit, it's not fun. And then 63% of American college students report health-related issues as the main stressor. And the last one, only 11% of students in the US sleep well. We want you to be aware of how stress is affecting everyone, mainly for you to not feel alone about this and also to recognize it before it gets out of control. And we will pass it back to Kim for the next slide.
Thank you. So we want to give you all some tips that can help with your academic and test prep. Now, this is important to note. We're not talking about anxiety at this point. Kai Sien's going to walk us through a few exercises that you all can use and employ when you might be kind of feeling anxious. But it is important to note that this is all about in preparing for exams and tests, not managing the anxiety part. We do have a lot of partners on campus that offer counseling. This is not counseling. It's important to note that as well. So if you need that type of support, we are absolutely able to get you in contact with folks who can help to that level. So some of these things on the slides, at this point, I've kind of lost track. I'm not sure which week of the semester we're in, maybe 12, I'm gonna guess. Normally it's a 16-week semester. And at this point, you really should be projecting out, looking forward. What remains in my class? What are the projects? What are the assignments? What are the exams that I need to be preparing for? And what do I need for each one of those? If you have had spotty technology at home as a remote student, you need to make sure that you are in a place where, these final exams and final projects, you've got it. If you need a stronger signal, and your class is online, then maybe you just need to come to campus and take it from the library, or if that's an option for you, realizing that may not be, but you need to think ahead about what you need and prepare yourself now. If you need something random, say you need a calculator or whatever, and your calculator's been on the fritz, or you can't use your phone as a calculator and do something else because, then go get yourself a calculator, or come to the bookstore and Shocker store and get yourself a calculator, or borrow it from a friend or a family member, whatever you need. Think about that early so that it's not the night before and you're scrambling and you're like, I forgot my calculator. I don't know where it is. I'll run to Walmart real quick and get one. Prepare now, and it reduces your stress later and in the moment. Evaluate your time plan. This is hard. It's very hard for a lot of students, but evaluate that plan. Make sure that you are thinking about, if it's possible, can I and should I make changes to my work schedule in a week or two or now, in order to appropriately study, appropriately prepare yourself, so that you are not losing sleep and getting sick and all of that good stuff. We want, or bad stuff. I guess that's bad stuff, right? So, look at your time plan. Look at how much time you think you're going to need based on the time you've given to the class in the past. So that's a good kind of barometer of where you should be at as far as how much time you need to study and prepare. Know what technology, can't stress this enough, is going to be used on your exams or needed for your projects. Get familiar with it if you're not already. Hopefully you are all experts by now on Zoom and probably Teams, but get to know what the technology will be needed for your last assignments. And then create communication signals at home for roommates and family. This is a big one. We might have talked about this in an earlier episode, Sometimes, especially when you're in testing situations, you can't be interrupted, especially with some online proctoring technologies that we're using. If you look up or kind of turn away, then that may signal to the online system we use that something's not right. And so you want to try to minimize those distractions. Studying and taking the exam. So maybe you need to close your door if you're studying in your room or in a home office or a home area that has a door. When the door's closed, I can't be interrupted, so that younger siblings, your own kids, your own parents, your friends, your roommates, whomever that is, knows that that's a signal I should not be going in. If you don't have the luxury of having a door to close, put headphones on or put your earbuds in, or put a certain color of paper taped to the top of your laptop or something, so that is a visual signal to others that you live around that, hey, I'm doing something really important and I can't be interrupted. And communicate that ahead of time so they know, A, what it means, because otherwise they're going to be like, why is the door shut? Or why is there a piece of red paper on her laptop? So communicate that ahead of time so your roommates, your families, your friends, they know what to expect. On the right side of this slide, we have it's just a snippet from one of the handouts that we give in our office typically. And, you can go for more information on this to our study skills website and get a lot more on this. It's wichita.edu/study skills. You see it kind of at the bottom there. That list to do before the test, make sure you're scheduling. Again, it goes back to your time plans. Scheduling reviews, daily, weekly, major review sessions, and chunk those out a little bit. Don't just sit down and do a marathon session. Chunk it out to where it's like 25 minutes. Give yourself a break, get up, walk around, get a drink of water, and then do another 20, 25 minutes and break that up a little bit. You'll find it's a little bit more enjoyable and successful. Creating mind maps, making flashcards, practice tests, old copies of exams. That may not be possible. It's actually becoming less possible, old copies of exams, less and less each year as we go to using more technology and things. So those are all things that you can consider doing if you haven't ever done that and you found yourself stressing out about before a test. Make sure you have that time. I cannot stress that enough. Your time plan is probably most important in how you are planning and preparing yourself for these test preps. So at this time, I think we're going to practice with Kai Sien. So I think the both of us are going to come up. And Em, if you can bring us up oh, no, not the next slide. Sorry. There you go. If you could take the slide down and just bring Kai Sien and me up on screen. Kai Sien's gonna, thank you. She is going to walk us through an exercise right now.
Yes, so I have two activities that you can try it out whenever you feel tension, you're stressed or anxious, let's say, especially before you're taking a test. And these activities can help you relax and also release internal tension and refocus on the present moment when you combine them both together. But you can just do either one of them if you don't have time. So the first one is 4-7-8 breathing technique, and the second one is imagery 5-4-3-2-1 coping technique. And let's start with 4-7-8 breathing first. So this exercise is to help you relax and also release internal tension. You can also use it to fall asleep. Okay, so 4-7-8 represents inhale, hold, and exhale. So when I say inhale, we need to count to 4. And when I say hold, we need to count to 7. And when I say exhale, we need to count to 8. And I will count them for you this time. And when you do it alone, you will be something like inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. And then we will repeat everything 4 times. Okay, so to start, you can sit with your back straight. And you will place the tip of your tongue against the ridge of tissue just behind your upper front teeth. And now you will keep it there through the entire exercise. No matter you're inhaling or exhaling, you will just keep it there through the exercise. And then when you're exhaling, you'll make this whoosh sound. So it's something like inhale, something like that. So just let all the air out from your body. Okay, when you're ready, you can close your eyes. And then you will close your mouth and inhale quietly through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we will repeat. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do it again. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And last round. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And after this, we will move on to another activity, which is called Imagery 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 coping technique. So this exercise is to help you refocus on the present moment and turn your attention away from your thoughts or worries, especially before you're having an exam or when you're feeling anxious. And also, it requires a lot of attention. So to start this, please close your eyes. And when you're ready, imagine a favorite place of yours that you want to be at. I will give you a few seconds over here. All right. When you have an imaginary scene in your mind right now, name 5 things you can see in there. You don't need to say it out. You can keep it to yourself. Now, name 4 things you feel. Okay. And name 3 things you can hear. And now, name 2 things you can smell. And last, name 1 thing you can taste. All right. You may open your eyes now when you're ready. And I hope this helps you focus a little bit when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling stressed. And yes, so these are the 2 activities that you can do when you're feeling stressed.
Great. Thank you, Kaisen. We did a couple of these at a workshop this past weekend, and we got a lot of really good response, especially with the imagery piece of it, where typically people will choose places where they're super comfortable, and maybe that's a beach, maybe that's a favorite restaurant, maybe it's their kitchen table, and people really enjoy that one. So hopefully those worked with you, and maybe you can remember those next time we go or you go into a situation where it's a little bit higher stress. So, all right, we're going to switch gears a little bit and talk about some changing family dynamics. So, Em, if you can bring up, thank you, our slide on that. As I mentioned earlier, for those of you who might be here away on our campus for the first time and then returning home for the holidays, the beginning of the holidays, that could feel and look different. You might hear a lot of different things, right? Which is all about communicating ahead of time. We talked about communicating the signals about your final projects and your exams and everything to your family and your roommates. Same thing. You want to probably feel like you're over communicating with your family. But remember that you don't always have to agree. And it goes with the second bullet point, which is stay true to yourself. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult when we return home. Things have changed in our lives as students, or our perception about our role within our family. Our own family maybe has changed, and that's completely normal. A lot of people go through that, especially at this time of year. So if you've kind of already experienced that, we get you. You're not alone there. And remember, especially, I mean, we've all been through a really hyped up continuing election season, and whether or not maybe you got wrapped up in all of that, maybe you didn't. Again, either one is perfectly fine, but you don't always have to agree with the people around you. You want to stay true to yourself, because often when you try to be something or someone else, you're not happy, and that eventually begins to unravel a little bit, right? So you want to stay true to yourself. And that could be hard if you have been away from your family for a little while. But don't avoid discussion. That withdrawal piece that we talked about, you're kind of avoiding everybody else in your family because you're like, that's fine. I'm going to live in my world and my space and do my thing. And I don't really want to talk about it with you. So whatever, mom, dad, uncle, whatever, we'll talk about it later. Right. And you just put it off. Don't avoid discussion, because eventually it'll probably come back up. Especially if you are returning home and it's something that a parent is asking you about. They're probably not going to stop asking you just because you don't want to answer their question or have the discussion the first time that they ask you about it, right? So sometimes it's easier to just do it and just have the discussion, and not necessarily get it over with, but get through it. It'll be easier the first or maybe second time to have that discussion versus putting it off 3, 4, 5 times. We encourage you, if things have changed in your family dynamic, to communicate before break arrives, and communicate the expectations. So maybe you're going to be working more hours because you are strained financially, and so you have told wherever you work, hey, schedule me for a lot of shifts. I would love to pick up more hours. I'm saving for college. I'm saving for this thing that's maybe have a car repair or something like that. I need the hours. You should tell your family that, so that they know why you may not be around as much, right? Because they may want to love on you and have you around, and while you're at home, right, you're an important part to that unit, and so they may expect that it's the holidays and we're all going to be together and my my kiddo is going to be home and I'm so excited to have the house full again. But in reality, that is not going to be happening because you're going to be working more, right? So it could be a number of scenarios like that. So communicating that ahead of time, saying, you guys, I've got to save up some money. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to be, build my financial independence as an adult, and I need to make sure that I'm at work because I don't have school right now and I don't have to focus on school and classes right now. But have that explain to them why you are making the decisions that you are making. Same thing goes with the last bullet point. Some of you probably came to college and you're like, woo, I am going to be this major or whatever. And you, right now, you're like, well, I'm not going to be this major any longer. And that's, again, fine. Students change their majors a lot. It happens. It's okay. But the important thing is, if you came to college with a family expectation that you are going to be a pre-med major and a pre-law major or an engineer or something else, and you have made that change, and you have made that a change in you've changed your mind, you've realized I'm not cut out for that, or I don't want to be that. And that's fine, that's great, we support you in that decision. But you should probably communicate that if there is some kind of other influence there, right? So talk to your parents when you return home. If you're changing your major, explain the why. I worked with a student who, years ago came and to campus and went through orientation and advising and the whole thing as an engineering major. And then at the very, very end came up to me and said, I don't want to be an engineering major. And so he said, okay, let's figure that out. What do you want to be? He was going to change to fine arts. And that was great. It was his passion. That's what he loved. And so we wanted to support him in that change. However, he did not have that conversation with the family member who he was attending our program with. And that next day, it really got a little, we had to kind of set it up where, okay, person A, family member A is over here in this area, and student is over here in this area. It's the advising time, and things are not computing, right? These things do not compute. So we got them together. We help them have the conversation. And so you've got to kind of sometimes, again, don't avoid the conversation, don't avoid the discussion, but explain why and stay true to yourself so that you can be happy with who you are and bring your full self to the academic experience. So a lot of images here. We hope, that everything is great, in your family units and everyone's taking selfies and you have these great memories that you're making now that you're in college or maybe returning to college. But we know sometimes it's difficult with others who may be around you, maybe younger siblings, like you see in the second picture there. Cute as can be, but really a strain. A lot of our students are feeling that. And then the last picture, having those hard discussions. These are very common images and kind of represent the range, everything from super, super happy to we're just in a messy spot right now. And you may be anywhere along that continuum and it's totally normal. So, all right. We'll lighten it up a little bit and practice another technique for our anxiety progressive muscle relaxation. So, Kai Sien, I'm going to turn it back over to you so that you can walk us through our next activity.
Yes. So progressive muscle relaxation is an exercise that reduces stress and anxiety in your body by having you slowly tense and then relax each muscle. And it provides an immediate feeling of relaxation, but it's best to practice frequently. During this exercise, each muscle should be tensed, but not to the point of strain. And if you have any injuries or pain, you can skip the affected areas. And pay special attention to the feeling of releasing tension in each muscle and the resulting feeling of relaxation. So let's begin. All right. You can sit back or lie down in a comfortable position, and you can shut your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. You will begin by taking a deep breath and noticing the feeling of air filling your lungs. Hold your breath for a few seconds and release the breath slowly and let the tension leave your body. Take in another deep breath and hold it. Again, slowly release the air. Even slower now, take another breath. Fill your lungs and hold the air. Slowly release the breath and imagine the feeling of tension leaving your body. Now move your attention to your feet. Begin to tense your feet by curling your toes and the arc of your foot. Hold on to the tension and notice what it feels like. Release the tension in your foot. Notice the new feeling of relaxation. Next, begin to focus on your lower leg. Tense the muscles in your calves. Hold them tightly and pay attention to the feeling of tension. Release the tension from your lower legs. Again, notice the feeling of relaxation. And remember to continue taking deep breaths. Next, tense the muscles of your upper leg and pelvis. You can do this by tightly squeezing your thighs together. Make sure you feel tenseness without going to the point of strain. And release. Feel the tension leave your muscles. Begin to tense your stomach and chest. You can do this by sucking your stomach in. Squeeze harder and hold the tension a little bit longer. And release the tension. Allow your body to go limp. Let yourself notice the feeling of relaxation. Continue taking deep breaths. Breathe in slowly. Noticing the air fill your lungs and hold it. And release the air slowly. Feel it leaving your lungs. Next, tense the muscles in your back by bringing your shoulders together behind you. Hold them tightly. Tense them as hard as you can without straining and keep holding. And release the tension from your back. Feel the tension slowly leaving your body and a new feeling of relaxation. Notice how different your body feels when you allow it to relax. Now, tense your arms all the way from your hands to your shoulders. Make a fist and squeeze all the way up your arm. Hold it. Release the tension from your arms and shoulders. Notice the feeling of relaxation in your fingers, hands, arms, and shoulders. Notice how your arms feel limp and at ease. All right, move up to your neck and your head. Tense your face and your neck by distorting the muscles around your eyes and mouth. And release the tension. Again, notice the new feeling of relaxation. And finally, tense your entire body. Tense your feet, legs, stomach, chest, arms, head, and neck. Tense harder without straining and hold the tension. And now release. Allow your whole body to go limp. Pay attention to the feeling of relaxation and how different it is from the feeling of tension. Begin to wake your body up by slowly moving your muscles. Adjust your arms and legs. Stretch your muscles and open your eyes when you're ready. So this is the progressive muscle relaxation, and I hope it helps you release some of your tension in your body and also relax your muscle after doing this.
All right. Thank you. I was lucky. I was very lucky to have a massage last night. And I was working my back out, my shoulders out last night, and this is like, oh yeah, I just need to do this every day, right? Definitely makes you slow down a little bit in that pace. So very helpful. Thank you, Kaisen. All right, our last quick topic today is holiday stress. And so we've got one last slide to show you here, almost last slide. First is, you know, there's some pressure that comes with the holidays and gift exchanges. So we're talking after your finals are over and you're in that full holiday flow, right? There can still be some uncertainties, and we want to make sure that you are thinking through what's best for you and your place in your family, right? Again, a lot of our students have suffer from that financial uncertainties or insecurity, not uncommon. So, what are some things that you can do without going overboard? You can look at homemade gifts. There's an example in the first image, the first and second top two images there. You may not be a crafty person, and that's okay. There are a lot of ideas online on how you can um, make something meaningful for your family. One of the greatest things that I've gotten for Mother's Day is something that my daughter colored for me just with crayons and a paper. It had a heart in the middle, and the teacher said, "You're going to make this for your mom." And it's one of the greatest things, that certainly she's ever given to me, right? And as a parent, I treasure those kinds of things. I have a lot of them, but this one in particular is meaningful, and that means more to me than, oh, hey, here's a gift certificate to Starbucks, or here's some Amazon card, which is all great, and I don't want to take any value away from that because those are and can be meaningful. But oftentimes, your family, something that comes from you, from your heart, is a little bit more meaningful. So think about that. Is there something that you can make? What about a gift exchange? One of the best decisions my family made was to have a gift exchange among the adults, and everybody always gets the kids things because everybody likes buying kids stuff, right? So, and we're lucky that we have the means to do that. So, but not only switching to let's draw names that ahead of time or whatever, so that I only have to worry about one gift for one adult, and then we get together, or maybe we do it virtually, or we're doing it in our pods, or we're doing it however, whatever that exchange looks like, right? So, um, a gift exchange could be a really good option. And many of you, if you're a traditional age student, are now you're like entering, like, now I'm an adult and now I don't always get the gifts because I'm not a kid anymore. So now I'm an adult. So now I enter this gift exchange phase, right? So those dynamics can change. Donate to a charity in someone's name. If you know that a family member has a cause that's close to their heart, that you feel that would be meaningful, go for it. Do that. Something just a little less stressful. Maybe you don't have to go shopping for it. You don't have to buy it online. You don't have to search Amazon for it. You don't have to, do all of that stuff. You can make a donation, and that is super meaningful. So think about those unique kinds of things. Um, excuse me. Also, learn to say no. I like the picture of the the woman putting her hands up going, no, she's saying it in a very nice way. She has a pleasant look on her face. No, I'm taking some time for me. I need an afternoon to just sit and do whatever it is that I want to do. Maybe I sit there and do nothing. Cool, do it. But you don't always have to go. If you're returning home and all of your friends and family from your hometown are getting together and you're like, I don't really feel like it. You don't have to go. There's nothing saying you have to go to everything you're invited to. But I think especially now during these times, I think a lot of people feel guilty, like, I'm never going to see these people for 6 more months or whatever. But saying no is okay, and it's hard to do though. Don't abandon your healthy habits. Still eat those apples, the little apple and grape snowman over there with, I think that's a cheese stick, or maybe it's a green onion. I don't know, for his little broom there. Don't, if you've gotten into some healthy habits and healthy routines, don't completely abandon them. Sometimes it's nice to splurge on the holidays. That's cool. But don't completely abandon them. You want to make sure that you're maintaining your physical health as well. Be realistic on what you can do and what you expect from your family. You may return and it may not be the perfect family, and that's okay. Be realistic with that. Understand, get yourself to a point where you're like, things are going to change, things might be difficult, but it's going to be okay. I'm going to make it through. And so just kind of talk yourself through that. Don't expect that everybody might agree with every decision you've made. If you've gone away for college, just, better to set your expectations for yourself before you walk into something. And then take a breather, practice that self-care, try some breathing techniques, even if it is, maybe you have to go to your car to kind of escape the noise and the activity in the house or in your apartment or wherever you may live. Maybe you need to go to your car and just do some of that breathing, some of that, deep breathing, and then some of the imagery, or maybe the muscle relaxation. And maybe it just takes a minute or two, but do it, practice it, get better at it. It can often just de-escalate even for a little bit. That's going to be helpful for you, and it's going to be healthy for you. So we'll turn it back over to Kai Sien for our last technique, or technique 3, that she's going to walk us through, and then we'll wrap up.
Yes. So this activity is called body scan meditation, and you can do this practice by laying down, sitting, or in other postures that you prefer. Okay, so let's begin. Bring your attention into your body, and you can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. You can notice your body seated wherever you're seated, feeling the weight of your body on the chair, on the floor, and take a few deep breaths. Inhale, hold, and exhale. And as you take a deep breath, bring in more oxygen and leavening the body. And exhale, have a sense of relaxing more deeply. Inhale, hold, and exhale. You can notice your feet on the floor. Notice the sensations of your feet touching the floor, the weight and pressure, vibration, heat. You can notice your legs against the chair, pressure, pulsing, heaviness, lightness. Notice your back against the chair. Bring your attention into your stomach area. If your stomach is tense or tight, let it soften. And take a breath. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Notice your hands. Are your hands tense or tight? See if you can allow them to soften. Notice your arms. Feel any sensation in your arms. Let your shoulders be soft. Notice your neck and throat. Let them be soft. Relax. Soften your jaw. Let your face and facial muscles be soft. Then notice your whole body present. Take one more breath. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Be aware of your whole body as best as you can. Take a breath. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So this is the body scan meditation that you can do when you're feeling stressed, whenever you feel tense, and you want some relaxation in your body, your muscles.
Awesome. Thank you. These are all really, what I like about all these is they're really easy. You don't have to have anything extra to do any of them. You can do it wherever you are, sitting, laying down, wherever you're comfortable. So our last slide here, we'll both stay here on the screen for you. If you want extra help with any of these techniques, if you want extra help with your anxiety or preparing for your last assignments or finals or exams, the first email right there is Kai Sien's email. She is willing to work with students. You can also email our office. Might be easier to remember, student.success at wichita.edu. And we'll get you in touch with Kai Sien. You do all kinds of independent work with students on that, yeah?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. So students can connect with her, or we can connect you to her. You can also work with a success coach. We have a number. We've mentioned them a lot in these episodes. You can work with a success coach, whether it's on test prep or anxiety there, or you need a little help planning for the upcoming semester, or how to finish your semester now strong. You can reach out to CAPS, Counseling and Prevention Services, especially if you are suffering from anxiety or depression, and you need a counselor to help you through that. Maybe you've had some counseling in the past, and you weren't aware that we have that option here for you. And then last, I want to flash up here the website for our care team. Usually on these episodes, Alicia Newell from Student Affairs is with us and with me, and she works closely with the care team. And if you're concerned about yourself or any member of the Shocker community, you can connect with our care team at wichita.edu/care. And they do a great job of reaching out really quickly and providing that support, whatever that may be, at whatever level that may be. They're a great place to begin because they do a really quick and accurate assessment on maybe you just need a few tips and tricks, techniques like we did today, or maybe you need to have sit down with a counselor regularly. And you know what? As we've heard her say, and you hear people say, it's okay to not be okay. And there are people who truly do want you to be the best version of yourself. So we're here to help you do that and to reach your personal and academic goals, and want you to be the best you. All right. So that really brings us to the close. So thank you so much, Kai Sien, for being with us today and walking us through those techniques. And thank you to Em on the back end for running our technology as always. Please reach out if you have any questions or need any help. We'd love to help you out. So good luck with your final projects, and hopefully holiday and break is stress free and you have techniques to use, and we hope you do well. So thanks so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your